hi, Robert. It's a pleasure to have you. Can you please begin by briefly introducing yourself and your company, PureFacts Financial Solutions?
I'm Robert Madej. I'm the founder and CEO of PureFacts Financial Solutions. We started as a completely bootstrap firm in 2010. We grew out of a custom software development company that I'd started years earlier. And today we're lucky enough to be considered a leader in global wealth tech market. Our firm is recognized for solutions in revenue management, fee billing, and client reporting. And our clients are really a who's who of enterprise wealth management firms in financial services, both wealth management and asset management firms.
Obviously, as somebody who's grown and, as you said, bootstrapped a company within it, I'd love to hear how you describe Canada's entrepreneurship ecosystem, maybe highlighting what you think are its strengths and its weaknesses.
I would suggest that the Canadian ecosystem is actually quite strong in many regards. We do have a number of great incubators in Canada. We have growth and scale up programs. We do have strong government grants in many industries, including software. And we do have mentors available with a variety of investors for whatever level the company is at to take the business to the next stage. There's mainstream capital providers along with different lenders, banks, and secondary lenders. And the governments and educational institutions, I think, are all very receptive and excited about growing businesses and entrepreneurship. Of course, there are plus and minuses depending on where you are in Canada. And I think we are lucky enough at PureFacts to be in the Toronto Waterloo corridor, which is very well funded and lots of startups in that area. I would say the biggest challenge for PureFacts when we launched was just our lack of knowledge of these amazing programs. So here I am, a recent graduate from University of Waterloo. I write a $5,000 check, set up an office, and start looking for clients and looking for contracts to do and develop programs. I always dreamed about owning my own business, but I had no idea about the most basic things like cash flow, profitability, how to raise capital, how to find mentors. And so I wasn't able to take advantage of these amazing programs and offerings that the Canadian ecosystem offers because I really just didn't know about them. So one thing that I think would really help is, are there ways to create additional access to these programs through, education, government, corporations, and just having these institutions get the word out about how great entrepreneurship is as an opportunity for life and what kind of value great businesses can create for a country like Canada.
You spoke about bootstrapping, but you recently took on investment from CBGF, the Canadian Business Growth Fund. How did that come about? How did you find out about that? And also, what's that going to allow you to do in terms of growing PureFacts and scaling it to the next level?
In this current year, we looked at how can we expand further and grow in the US market. And so part of our plan to grow in the US is organic growth and investing in sales and product development to make sure that we can grow in the US. But another part of our strategy was raising some capital in order to do M&A in the US. And so we started looking for a capital partner early in 2021. And after a false start with a US firm, which didn't work out the way we wanted, we got introduced to CBGF. And CBGF, right from the very beginning, seemed like our kind of partners. They thought like Canadians. They shared values with PureFacts. And we were able to figure out a way to close the equity financing with them just this past December. And so far, our relationship with CBGF and the work we've been able to do together has been fabulous. And so one of the things that Canada can do to be more competitive in the future economy is make sure that we have more firms like CBGF available to Canadian scale-ups so that we keep ownership of the IP and the firms within Canada. It would have been very easy at the stage we're at now for PureFacts to consider selling some or all of the firm to US partners with very deep pockets. But my wife and I are both very proud Canadians. We feel grateful for being born in this country. We're both from single moms and we benefited greatly from being in Canada in terms of access to hospitals, education, and even the ability to start PureFacts. We'd love to give back, and the opportunity to grow our business on a global scale and create future employment for Canada is really it's an incredibly humbling opportunity for us. We want to take full advantage. So I think as Canada thinks about how do we keep firms and founders that are Canadian in Canada and excited about Canada, we need to have partners like CBGF that can support Canadian values and also can be competitive with the bigger U.S. firms that can often offer more money in an acquisition situation.
I want to shift gears a little bit and speak about innovation. So, innovation in Canada, and ask you how you view the innovation ecosystem because you have grown up within it. And similarly, ask you who you think has to do what now in terms of best supporting our Canadian innovators and startups and scale ups.
Yeah, really great question. For sure, we do have friendly governments, good legal system, leading educational institutions, and capital providers. So we have a strong backbone already. In Canada, we are known for world-class research, institutions like the Vector Institute, having world-class researchers working in Canada, our close proximity to the number one market in the world, the US market, and the quality of life throughout Canada in the big cities and even in the smaller towns or countryside. And so I think Canada is in a really great position to take advantage of our innovation ecosystem and make it even stronger in the years ahead, and particularly as our economy transitions. I think that if we could get more people younger excited about this, and some of the things that came together for me that allowed me to do this is one, I always had the dream of being an entrepreneur, but I have to say, when I went to my high school guidance counselor, the idea of being an entrepreneur was not greeted with enthusiasm. The idea was maybe I should become an engineer or an accountant or possibly an actuary. And I didn't really understand much about those jobs. I always felt that it would be sort of cool to run my own software business. And so I think things have improved quite a bit since that time over the last 30 years, but I don't think they've improved to the level that we need to be to ensure Canada is one of the leaders going forward in entrepreneurship and information technology and digital business, new green energies, and the things that are going to transform the globe. And so part of it is let's get the high schools and universities excited about teaching this. Let's make this awareness that, hey, this is a viable journey for your career, and not just a viable journey for a lot of people with the right makeup. And definitely it's not for everybody, but for the right people with the right makeup. This is the journey of your lifetime. You get a chance to live your dream, build something that you feel so proud of and fantastic for, and you get to contribute to a growing economy in one of the best countries in the world. So the more we can encourage people to understand and consider entrepreneurship as a viable career, and the more resources we can give them at startup. And I think part of that does dovetail into the cost of certain things in Canada, which are a little bit higher and are making things a little bit more difficult. So when I graduated from University of Waterloo 30 years ago, it was really without any debt that I had. I was able to get through university, get into a co-op program, graduate without any debt at all, and able to start a business. And I think today it's a little bit more challenging because tuition has gone up quite a bit. Is there programs that we can do around managing tuition, encouraging entrepreneurs, maybe even forgiving your school debt when you create a startup, and employ your fifth employee or something like that. I'm not sure how the program works. There's obviously smarter people than me who would work on that.
Now, Robert, we've spoken about entrepreneurship, we've spoken about innovation. The intersection of those two worlds is commercialization. You could have a great idea, but if you can't sell it, you don't really have a company. Um, I'd like you to maybe give me what your opinions are in terms of how we can best support commercialization in Canada, because traditionally were great at coming up with amazing ideas. We're not that great in terms of getting them out there into the market and selling them. What are your views on how we can improve that?
I think that it's quite often different skill sets and teams that we need to bring to the table in order to make commercialization work. So, for example, when I started PureFacts and started my first custom software development business before PureFacts, I was really a math geek and a computer engineer. I had studied pure mathematics at university. I loved programming, but I had no idea about sales, marketing, product development. And these are things that I had to learn along the way. What was great and allowed us to be successful is I met various partners along the way. I had various business partners, employees who were skilled at things that I wasn't skilled at. And so we were able to assemble a team of people that were allowing us to tackle the three main problems, which is recognizing the market and the problem you're solving. So the business analyst kind of work that you need done, the product development, software programmers to develop the product that you need to sell, and then the sales team and the customer support team and marketing team to develop the product. Because we were able to put that together, we were able to achieve a modest level of commercial success, which allowed us to continue to invest in the business and grow and expand and hire more people that way. And so just going forward, I was lucky enough to have these people in my life and to meet them in the journey along the way. But there may be an advantage to the government of setting up some kind of a marketplace or social network, some kind of platform where these people can get introduced to each other and meet each other.
Absolutely. You've given a lot of recommendations in terms of what government can do. I heard calls to action for academia. I'd like to ask you what advice you have for young Canadian entrepreneurs who, just like you 30 years ago, are maybe out of university or taking some time to think and have an idea. Uh, what would be your advice in terms of what they should be doing when launching a company here in Canada?
So first, whenever I talk to a young entrepreneur, and I'm lucky enough to talk to a few every year, and sometimes a few even in a month. And my advice is always the same. If you have a passion, my advice is to go for it. And I know it sometimes can seem daunting and challenging, but Canada is a great country to start a business. And what I always tell people is your learning will be unsurpassed. So whether or not your venture actually succeeds or does not succeed, what you learn along the journey will benefit your entire life and your entire career. I would recommend to any budding entrepreneur to try to build your network as early as possible, because it is quite lonely being an entrepreneur. You often are the only one in your office, or maybe one of two or three co-founders. And the more people that you have to bounce ideas off of, to go out for dinner or drink with, and just to support you when you're maybe feeling a little bit more down, would be really fantastic if you could draw on the strength of other people.